people watch.
So we see that Bilam is a descendant from Esau, son of Beor, according to Bereshit 36:32. And now we know the purpose why Bilam in the Parashah Balak say he doesn't want, he's not interested with gold and silver, with riches. No. He follow another goal. He follow the destruction of Israel. And this is how we trap Israel with the daughter of Moab. And if we go there, we can understand how is this trouble. We see in the book of Revelation, if we go in the book of Revelation chapter 2, in the assembly of Pergam, we read, and the messenger of the assembly in Pergamos write these things, says, he which has the sharp sword with two edges, I know thy works, and where you dwell, where even where Satan's seat is, and you hold fast my name, has not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas, my faithful martyr, was slain among you where Satan dwells. But I have a few things against you, because you have there them that hold the doctrine of Bilam, who taught Balak to cast a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed unto idols, and to commit fornication. Very, very interesting and amazing that we find the same things that we see in the book of Bamidbar with the Parashah Phinehas, or the Balak. And it goes more to understand that we can go to the book of Acts, and we go to Act 15 to see, Act 15 is where there is a contention between some certain men, Jew, who tell the people that if you are not circumcised after the manner of Moshe, you cannot be saved. Here it's not about circumcision, it is about salvation. He said, if you are not circumcised, you cannot be saved, which of course, shall explain is not so. So, Shaul and Barnabas discussed with them. After that, they decided to go to Jerusalem, to make it clear with those who are in control. And they went back to Jerusalem to meet Yohanan, Yaakov, and Kepha, and to bring the matter before them. They discuss it, and we will read, very interesting, the conclusion from Yaakov. Now, okay, so he said here, I will just read them. Okay, let me see. And after, in the verse 13, and after they have heard the peace, Yaakov answered, saying, Men and brethren, hearken to me. Shimon has declared how Elohim at the first did visit the Goim, the nations, to take out of them a people for his name. And to this agree the words of the prophet, as it is written. After this I will return, I will build again the tabernacle of David, which is fallen down, and I will build again the ruins thereof, and I will set it up, that the residue of man might seek after the Jehovah, and all the Goim upon whom my name is called, says Jehovah, who does all these things. Known unto Elohim are all these works from the beginning of the world. Wherefore, Yaakov is speaking, my sentence is that we trouble not them which from among the Goim, from the nations, are turning to Elohim, but that we write unto them that they abstain from pollution of idols, fornication, and things strangled, and from blood. For Moshe of all time, as in every city, them that preach him, being read in the assembly every Shabbat day. You see, again we see the point which I mentioned in Revelation, which are the problem in the Parashah Balak, the pollution of idols, the fornication, things strangled and blood. You see, we found the same thing. This is how we start when we come into the faith of Yeshua, to enter into the Torah, to enter into the Shabbat. We have to know that we have to, the first things we have to do is to abstain from pollution of idols, fornication, things strangled, and from blood. You see? And this we can expound in another video. Now go back to the Parashah Phinehas, because we need to understand who is this man who and what represents the action he did. You see, here we have in the chapter 25, verse 10, Jehovah spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, before I will read what's happened here in the Parashat Balak, we read, Moshe said unto the judge of Israel, slay you every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moshe, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw, he rose up from among the congregation and took a javelin in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the tent, and thrust both of them through the man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was taken from the children of Israel. And those that died in the plague were 24,000. That's why from the Parashah Balak, to have the context of the situation. And we see that the action of one man stopped the plague. Stop the plague. We see that many were weeping before the tabernacle. Many realized the evil that was done. So it was not all the men. We see that 24,000 from among the more than 600,000 were affected by the plague. You see, and Jehovah spake unto Moshe, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that consumed not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Wherefore says, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace. So this man, Phinehas, the name Phinehas is connected to the, it's written P, Yod, Nun, Chet, Zamek. And inside we find the interpretation, mouth of the serpent. Okay? You can see that in the letter P, which represents the mouth, the letter Nun and Chet, which come from the root from Nachash. And this man was zealous for Jehovah. He wanted to give his everything for the name of Jehovah and for all Israel. We see here, if we understand a human being, Bnei Adam, the sons of Adam, we are all in a battle within ourselves, which is called in Hebrew the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov, the evil inclination and the good inclination. Phinehas, he's the one who saw that, and when he threw the javelin into the man of Israel and the Midianitish woman, he stopped the plague. This is what Yeshua will do at his return with the sword of his mouth. He will stop the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara will be down. And so everyone will be delivered from the lies of man. This is what we have to see in this action. Yeshua is called Zar Shalom, Prince of Peace, the same title which we see in Phinehas. Yeshua is the one who will fight the last battle against the enemy of Elohim at his return. And we see that by the action of Phinehas, the plague was stopped. What we learn here from the action of Phinehas and the previous Parashah Balak is that the enemy is surrounding us. We see that in the book of Acts. We see that in the book of Revelation, that the trouble is always to fall into the trap of the enemy, of the opponent, of Satan, because it's always the same thing. To pollute our life with the fact of idols, with the fact of unclean food, with the fact of idolatry. So we need to be aware of that around us we have many Bilams. We have many Bilam who want us to believe that they are great people, that they can lead us, but they are in fact liars and have the tongue of the serpent. So we need to understand that and to walk in the Torah, to learn the Torah in order to see what Elohim has prepared for those who love him. We have a lot of warning in the Brit Hadashah, how to walk and how to be preserved. Apostle Shaul tells us to present ourselves as a living offering, a living korban, as it is written in the book of Romans chapter 12. And if we read it, we understand our life. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercy of Elohim, that you present your bodies as a living korban, sacrifice, kadosh, acceptable unto Elohim, this which is your reasonable service. And he added in verse 2, be not conformed to this world. The world that surrounds us, yeah? The world was surrounded. Israel at this time was the Moabite, the Amorite, the Kenizzite. All these nations were idolaters and immoral. Do not be transformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good, acceptable, and perfect will of Elohim. I have spoken about that already. The renewing of our mind can only come through the Torah. Through the Torah. The Torah is a powerful tool because it is the very word of Elohim. The Torah is a tree of life to all those who take hold of it. So, my brother and sister, when we read week after week, Shabbat after Shabbat, when we read the Parashot, when we let this Parashot and we meditate on it, according to Psalm number 1, he who meditates upon the Torah of Elohim day and night, he will be like a tree planted by the stream of water, which brings forth his fruit in its season. So we need to have that and to understand that the renewing of the mind can only come by the studying of the Torah. Of course, we can read in many ways in the words of Judaism. We found beautiful teaching in the Pirkei Avot, in the the word of the Rambam and others. If you read, you will see that it is according to the Torah, and we can elevate ourselves spiritually. We need to feed ourselves not only during the Shabbat, but every day. We need to speak about that. We need to speak about the Torah. We need to feed the inner man with the word of the living word of the living Elohim. And if we do that, by the mercy of Jehovah, we will be transformed in our mind. We will be transformed. So, brother and sister, I encourage you to look around your family, around yourself, who is surrounding you. Who is surrounding you. There is a Bilam around us. There is a Balak around us. There is people immoral around us. In order to be set apart. Set apart. Everyone knows the word Kadosh. Kadosh is set apart from this world, from this. The world that surrounds us today is a word of corruption. It's a word of lies. This is what surrounds us. Do not expect anything from this world. There is nothing to expect. Expect what is coming from our Father in heaven. He is the one who cares for us. So I encourage everyone to look into the truth. The truth is the Torah, and to be fed by the Torah. Doing this, you will be blessed in all your ways. So I say shalom for now. See you in the next Parashah, and we will discuss even more about what will come with Bilam. Shalom and Shavua Tov.